All right. Hey everyone, the castle here. So, got a bunch of stuff to talk about. So I'll probably try and keep this as brief as I can. Although, my videos tend to end up being a little bit longer than they should be. Usually anyway. Oh well. But I got some good stuff here. So all the stuff that you see in that list right there, that's how I'm going to stay on topic. The first thing that I want to mention is that my DLive account was recently um, brought back down to um, I lost affiliate status, and it's totally justified. Like I just wasn't being consistent anymore, and like now if I do any live streaming, all I do is sort of just treat it as like a screen share or something like that. It's been kind of a weird experience because Zombie Doll's stream has been so successful at this point in time that I just haven't really. It just I just don't feel like it's something that I need to be doing. Like it's I don't know how to describe it. It's like I look at her stream and she has like 116 people watching her, right? And then I look at my stream with like 4 people and like I don't mind. There's so much success on her side that like I don't even it's like it's like it kind of killed my motivation to keep doing it for me, but not in like a negative way. More like a I'm just going to use this for something that for fun. Like I'm not feeling any pressure, and thus I've been less consistent with live streaming. Hell, I've been a lot less consistent with videos too. For a while there, I was doing a video a day. But what are you gonna do? With that said, whenever I do live stream, it's usually when I'm working on something, and it'll be like no sound, no, I'll end up talking in chat or whatever. Um, with text, and you could just see what I'm working on. You could just see something that I'm doing. I think I actually have a couple replays that I can kind of skim over of something like that, right? So like, no, that's not it. Drinking and chilling. That's a VR chat stream. Sometimes I do these VR chat streams, and I'm probably gonna stop doing those. But yeah, here we go. So like, you can see me like working on Zombie Doll's avatar, and stuff like that, and like you can see me actually just working. It's like being able to sort of look into a fishbowl. In fact, I should really coin it the fishbowl stream. And here I am. I'm using a NURB system to build a. I actually later learned that this isn't the way to do it. I can go into that in a little bit. There's too many other things to talk about in this particular video, but um, and in fact, I will talk about that sweater in a little while. But yeah, you can actually. I was actually thinking of calling it like the fishbowl or something like you can just kind of a fishbowl stream. You can come over and see whatever it is that I'm doing at the time. And I am working on a lot of different things at once right now, so sometimes it's probably a good idea just to poke over and see if there's something going on. My times tend to be pretty late though, so keep that in mind. Eastern Standard Time, like 3 o'clock in the morning, is probably pretty average. It's 5:20 a.m. right now while I'm making this video, so yeah. So with that said, that is enough to be said about that. So let's go over Exalive. Okay, so the stat system for my open world shooter game, open world looter shooter, um, open world survival looter shooter. Oh my god, I don't even know. Okay, I don't even know. I just know what it is. Technically, I don't know what genre it fits in perfectly yet. I guess we'll have to find out. It has this is the game with the level editor. And here, let me fly around in a map real quick so that I can refresh your memory so that because it might be a little bit of a little bit difficult to remember exactly what I'm talking about because there's a lot of stuff going on at once right now. Xalive, let's see, it'll load up. It should load up eventually the world that I'm currently working on. Eventually, this is how. Yeah, okay. You're taking your time there, editor. um, Why is it doing this? So I probably should have ran it once before I did that. Honestly, my computer's memory is probably like getting wrecked right now. Oof. Hmm. Sheesh. So here I am actually playing my FPS, my open world looter shooter, which will be a highly skill it's since it's a sandbox game, it will involve a large number of different types of skills and things of that nature. Right now, I am building that list and developing it further to kind of solidify exactly how I want to design that system. So the system itself is whew, okay. So we got we got a lot of different stats to work with here. I'm calling the base stats proficiencies, right? So you have your proficiencies, and then you have okay. So you put a certain number of points into combat, right? And then you have additional like skills underneath. So like I can increase my combat ability, my proficiency in combat, but then I need to also put points into whether or not it's going to be pistols, shotguns, rifles, sniper rifles, grenades, like all the different types of weapons that will be in the game, right? So your proficiency in defense, right? And then you have your different types of armor: stealth armor, light armor, medium armor, heavy armor, right? Now, you can equip armor that is well above your proficiency. It just doesn't have very good stats. Like, it just won't be very good for you. Likewise, you can equip something that's underneath your proficiency, and you know what I mean. But you get the full benefits of whatever that armor actually provides. Now, if you don't have on the tooltip, if you lack the proficiency or if you lack the skill, so you have the proficiency, but if you lack the skill, then for that particular stat bonus, then what happens is um, it'll appear as red, and it'll give you some kind of an indication of like how high your stat is for that particular thing, right? Or what you're gaining from it versus what you need to be gaining, the full amount for, right? And then so it just pretty much kind of goes down that list, and a lot of the weapons and armor will have random proficiencies. I mean, random skill requirements on them. So, like something that enhances, is like a support item, some kind of an item. So basically, all of the items, all the guns, all the armor, they're all essentially either active abilities or they're active. They can all be seen as like active abilities, or they can be all seen as like passive abilities. So if you equip armor, that's considered like a passive status effect, right? Now, there's other things to keep in mind too, like whether or not the item is consumable. Like if I drink a potion, the potion disappears forever, or does it destroy the potion? If I go out and kill like a slug bug, there's going to be slug bugs. They're going to be like the boars. They're inspired by the enemies, by the creatures, the slugs that you see in Blame. These like you go out and you kill a nice slug bug, and then you can cook up the slug bug meat or whatever, and you can make chicken from it. You're getting chicken from it. Don't ask. I don't know why I said that. It's probably meme worthy. I don't think so. Anyway, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. You eat it, and that item will disappear, and then it'll restore your hunger, right, and probably make you a little bit thirstier. With that said, like some food will probably have certain requirements for like on your survival skills. Like maybe if your hunger is not high enough, if your hunger skill isn't high enough, you won't gain the full benefits of that food, depending on what it is. So like really good food requires much better crafting. So you'll have like crafting skills, gathering skills, and science, and you know what I mean. Like there'll be a lot of like different things, and it'll be sort of this interwoven thing, and everything that you do gives you points, sort of like in Minecraft's RL Craft. Everything that you do gives you points, and then you can sink those points into any one of these things on this list, right? And so you could theoretically go fishing and become really good marksman if you want to do it that way. You can. Like there's just no requirement for it. But also too at the same time, I hope you might fish up a really nice sniper rifle, to be really good at sniper combat or whatever, right? Like maybe there's a way to actually accidentally every once in a while get a weapon. So you might get a weapon that's like well above your character's proficiency. You could still use the weapon, but it degrades faster. It's blah blah blah. It's not going to be so great. Not only that though, but all of the items are have a certain amount of health to them. And in fact, everything has health. Everything is using the same system. So these are literally just components. This is the same component that's going to be used for the stats of a character, and this will be the same component that's used for the stats of every item in the entire game, right? Like literally everything, all of the stuff. So if you look at right here, you'll see like it's character, object, so you can have a random object or something like that. You have resource, weapon, armor, component, item. A component is just an upgrade, so every item could actually potentially have. You can have a backpack that has its own inventory. You can have like you can put an inventory on anything you want. You can put stats on any object you want. Basically, or, from the development side of things, not so much in game, but whatever. Like every object can have an inventory, so you can walk up to some object that like a container or something like that, and it has an inventory, it has a bunch of items sitting inside of it, and there you go, right? It's all there, like it's all just set up. And now, that's pretty much that's the gist of this so far, and it's coming along. There's a lot of stuff here though. But right now I'd rather over design the number of different skills and then pull it back than have to come up with more skills or something like that down the line. But I definitely want this to be a true sandboxy type of game. So, with that said, on Helios development, I've got the starting world. Ooh, a little bit of energy drink too. I'll take that right now. So, I got the new brick texture, but I'm not really happy with the white brick at the moment. But the new material is all set up. The white brick looks a little bit too gray, which makes it kind of not look like white painted brick, but is otherwise doing pretty good. And Helios is definitely getting a nice looking home world. And this is the first world that you start in and when you begin the game, basically. And here you are. You get a mirror to look at, and there'll be ways to like shift out your avatars or something. You know, go over here and check out all of the worlds on the list. It'll be like a wall thingy that may be bigger than this and more fancy. And then over here is where you get the portal. I was working on this in the stream, and uh, you know, uh, it's been pretty fun to just kind of put this together. I'm really glad to actually be working on a virtual reality game in addition to actually enjoying virtual reality social media. Honestly, I'm starting to really, really seriously think because I'm feeling this. I've felt this a few times in the past. Um, Now this is the world. I've made some adjustments to the Zombie Doll Lounge. I've felt in the past many times where I've kind of caught on the beginning of what would be considered a golden age. Um, I guess I would coin it that. I actually, honestly, I really seriously think that virtual reality social media is at the beginning of a golden age. It hasn't had a chance to really get fucked up yet. Kind of like like the internet kind of has had a golden age in the mid 2000s, right? That's when things really boomed, and it wasn't even so much just that. Like between 1998 and 2012 or so, the internet was pretty much at peak. It was really amazing, and it's getting worse now. It's starting to actually degrade because there's so much censorship and stupid shit going on right now. A lot of the big companies, they're getting a little bit too big, a little bit too powerful. They're starting to do some weird shit. Um, Facebook with its Libra coin and fucking, spying on us and everything like that. There's been a lot of things like that that's just kind of taking us out of that happy place that we used to be in. I'm definitely like there was a point in time I remember in the 1990s when we had heavy metal music and industrial music was primed. Like we had MTV, we had a golden age back then as well. I've experienced a few different periods of time. Gaming golden age, but I wouldn't really say gaming is losing it. It's just that it's a little bit too obvious right now that large corporations are having a much harder time not getting fucked because they're of their own greed, and microtransactions kind of really screwed the pooch on the golden age of what I would consider. Like, I don't know. I mean, the thing is though is that it's still such an organic beast and such a big topic that gaming, I wouldn't dare say that gaming in itself is not in a golden age. I think we're still well on our way to stuff that we've never really seen before, but we are definitely seeing sort of the death of certain mindsets that are definitely tearing apart the fabrics of what makes games enjoyable, eh, at least through corporate greed at the moment. So we're kind of starting to see that, and I mean, it's a little bit too obvious when a company like Blizzard is suffering because of this kind of shit. Then okay, they were in my opinion, Blizzard was like number one. Like nobody could fuck with them. They were absolutely like, how did this happen? So with that said, I can definitely tell you right now, virtual reality is giving me that same feeling right now. And I know that it might seem a little bit strange. Um, so right now I did make a bunch of changes. I'll get back to that topic in a second. I'll go through what I actually did here, but um, I made some. I actually the last night was such an intense party. We had more than 40 people in this world, and very few people were actually complaining about frame rate, except for maybe a potential bug with the video screen that was actually playing in the background. Sometimes this video screen here will pick a random person to just absolutely frame rape them to death, and they'll go from like having like 40 or 90 frames per second to having like 10, and as soon as they turn the screen off, yay! Lo and behold, but it doesn't seem to happen for everybody. It seems to happen like once in a while. So I've made it a little bit easier for people to disable both the dynamic lights in the scene and the video screen above. Now, I've also increased the occlusion culling aggressiveness in the starting area because there was a shit ton of people hanging out down here and people who were just spawning in and everything like that. It actually does kind of make sense that I should utilize this opportunity to cull, to have people actually not rendering unless they walk past this white line here. Um, I also moved the buttons here. I added another button and I moved these to the starting area. I reworked this texture, improved the texture so that it can handle, so that it doesn't look like it had like a visual glitch to it, and mostly just kind of relit and added a little bit more detail. So the Zombie Doll Lounge ended up getting a bunch of attention and everything like that. And at the same time, I also have I have a, let's see if I can show it real quick, a new outfit for Zombie Doll's avatar that I should show. Um, the comfy sweater. Let's see if I can find it in this giant list of shit that could potentially be on this character. Holy fuck. It would be with the stockings. That's slightly naked. Um, let's put a sweater on that so I don't get in trouble. Okay. There's the sweater. There we go. There we go. Family friendly now. Yeah, so oh, you can see my mask poking through. But yeah, so she's gonna have this like really cool, like all-encompassing, like warm, cozy sweater, and then some socks with the leg guards on and stuff like that. It'll look pretty cool. It'll look pretty cool. I think it's gonna be pretty neat. Now, that pretty much covers everything. But I want to kind of end on the note of what I was just talking about. I'm definitely feeling like maybe it's underrated. Maybe there's something here that maybe other people have already noticed it. Maybe it's at the very beginning of it though. I've seen this happen too many times with the golden age. That golden age thing I was talking about before. I'm definitely feeling this. There's something about being able to go into a virtual space where you can see people, they can wear whatever they want, they can do all kinds of things that you normally can't. It's a virtual space where there's really no limitations, um, and we can hang out and get drunk together in a place where there are no physical consequences for the outside of the fact that we're all killing our livers, right? Like if you go into a party and somebody over drinks, that person needs to get a ride home, and but in the virtual world, if somebody passes out because they drink too much, you know th- they're safe. They're home. They're not in any danger. They're not going to get their wallet lifted. There's no way somebody can attack you or you can get into some kind of trouble. Like it's an extraordinarily safe thing. At the same time, we have like almost no restrictions outside of like absolutely ridiculous shit, right? Where like you can't have sex in a public world where uh you know uh you know what I mean, like outside of like really basic things, basic limitations, you'll notice that like we were able to have this gigantic party with like 50 plus people, and we were able to fill this place up, and everybody was just like if you um I can probably mute it, but let's see, like you could just sort of look and like everybody's, there's people walking around. There's a lot going on. We need some kind of additional aspects to kind of really bring it together. I'm probably thinking that it'll be the next generation of. This is Zombie Doll stream, by the way. I think that there will be some kind of an additional something where this really kicks off. It's the same thing that happened with MySpace, right? MySpace versus Facebook. Some kind of a thing will end up happening where it really begins, but I don't know what it'll be. But I can tell you right now, this definitely feels like something. I really do. Like it's not. I have a feeling that like you heard in Ready Player One where they talk about the missing millions. That may actually really happen. I'm not kidding. I'm really seriously thinking it. And these are like the amount of socializing that goes on in these kinds of environments and the kinds of parties and the kinds of things, like people can make themselves gigantic, and we're all like at the edge, looking down in the middle of the club like and then Peachy comes in and licks Zombie Doll. There's something here. There's something really seriously here. Um, it feels like something fresh. I don't know. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna end it on that note. I hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, stay tuned for more. And maybe I'll try and go into more depth about the overall social situation involving virtual reality. But my God, this is gonna be a very interesting ride.